Hello there, and welcome to Dream Myths. Tonight, we embark on a tranquil journey, a passage through the mists of time, back to the bustling yet serene streets of 1940s New York. As the city slumbers, a different kind of magic awakens, and we shall be its silent observers. But before we step into the past, let us first find solace in the present moment. Take a deep, deliberate breath now, allowing your awareness to settle gently within you. Feel the subtle shift as your body begins to yield to the embrace of quietude. Perhaps your head finds a perfect cradle in the softness of your pillow, a gentle anchor in the calm. Now, draw another slow, steady breath in through your nostrils, feeling the cool air invigorate your senses, and as you exhale, truly release. Imagine, if you will, the day's concerns, any lingering anxieties, any residual tension simply dissolving, dissipating into the ether, carried away on that soft breath. Let them drift like whispers on a breeze. With each subsequent breath, feel yourself sinking deeper, becoming wonderfully heavier, exquisitely still. A profound sense of relaxation begins to bloom, spreading outward from your very core. Envision this wave of serene calm, a soothing tide, rising gently from the tips of your toes, moving languidly upwards through your calves, over your knees, up your thighs, through your torso, across your shoulders, along your arms, and finally reaching the very crown of your head. Every muscle, every fiber, releasing its hold, surrendering to the profound peace that washes over you. There is no call for strenuous concentration here, no need to wrestle with the threads of the narrative. Instead, simply allow the gentle cadence of my voice to become your guide, a quiet current carrying you effortlessly into the unfolding tale. Let it be a lullaby, a soft whisper that ushers you into the realm of slumber. As your breathing settles into a rhythm as steady and comforting as the gentle patter of raindrops on a window pane, and your mind finds a stillness as profound as a city street hushed in the quiet hours of midnight, prepare to slip into a story woven with threads of discovery, of unexpected connection, and of the tender, fleeting magic found only within the sleeping heart of New York's storied past. Allow yourself to be drawn in, to wonder, and to simply be. You find yourself at a formidable, perhaps even daunting juncture. You, Henry Walsh, are seated at your familiar desk, tucked away in a corner of the New York Chronicle's perpetually effervescent newsroom. The air thrums with a relentless energy, a cacophony of ambition and immediacy. Typewriters clatter with a fervent, almost violent rhythm, their metallic hammers striking paper with the urgency of breaking news. Telephones shrill incessantly, each ring a summons to a new story, a fresh lead. Reporters, a blur of motion and muttered conversations, rush past, their minds already grappling with tomorrow's headlines, their movements a stark contrast to the profound stillness that will soon descend upon the city. Before you lies a stack of photographs, a recent submission now returned with a devastating verdict. Red pencil marks, sharp and unforgiving, lacerate your meticulously crafted compositions. The critiques are blunt, almost brutal, too stiff, no feeling. Technically perfect, Henry, but where's the heart? Where is the very essence of life within these static frames? Each stroke of that crimson lead feels less like an editorial note and more like a personal incision. A gruff voice punctures the din, pulling you from your internal monologue. Walsh, you got a minute? Editor Barnes, a man whose presence alone could quell the busiest newsroom, stands framed in his office doorway, a figure of imposing authority. You instinctively straighten the knot of your tie, a small, almost unconscious gesture of deference and readiness. Your footsteps, typically confident, now feel strangely hesitant as you traverse the worn wooden floor, past the focused, oblivious figures of your colleagues. The late afternoon sun, a tired sentinel, filters through the tall, grimy windows, its amber light catching motes of dust dancing in the air, intermingling with the faint tendrils of cigarette smoke that perpetually linger. Barnes, without preamble, leans forward, his gaze unwavering. Your technical prowess, Walsh, is beyond question. You handle a camera with the precision of a surgeon, but technical perfection, while commendable, does not move copy. It does not stir the public's imagination, nor does it sell newspapers. His words, clipped and precise, carry the weight of years spent understanding the very pulse of the city. We require photographs that transcend mere documentation. We need images that evoke a visceral response, that make people feel something, that pull at the very fabric of their emotions. Then, with a decisive, almost theatrical motion, he sweeps the returned stack of your photographs from his desk, sending them skittering across the polished wood with a sharp, resonant thud. The unexpected sound, though minor, is enough to make you flinch. A stark physical manifestation of the mounting disappointment and immense pressure that now weigh heavily upon your shoulders. One more assignment, Walsh. Barnes states, his voice now lower, more solemn, imbued with a gravity that silences even the distant clamor of the newsroom. A sudden, profound quiet descends upon his office, broken only by the deliberate, rhythmic tick-tock of the ornate grandfather clock in the corner. Each second seems to stretch, elongating, amplifying the sense of urgency that now grips you. A special feature for the weekend edition, we're calling it The Soul of New York at Night. His eyes, piercing and expectant, lock onto yours. Your task, Henry, is to reveal what this city truly is, what it truly feels like when most folks are fast asleep, when its everyday facade has dropped and its deepest secrets emerge. The weight of those words settles upon you, a daunting, yet strangely exhilarating challenge. As you finally step out of the New York Chronicle building, leaving behind the ceaseless hum of the newsroom, the evening air greets you with the crisp, invigorating hint of nascent autumn. It carries the faint, nostalgic scent of damp stone and distant charcoal smoke, a prelude to the cooler months. The voluminous weight of your camera bag, housing your venerable Graflex speed graphic, alongside a carefully arrayed collection of extra film holders and a handful of precious flash bulbs, settles heavily against your side. These are the instruments of your craft, tools you have mastered with painstaking dedication, each click of the shutter a testament to countless hours of practice. Yet, in this moment, under the vast, indifferent sky, they feel oddly insufficient, perhaps even inadequate for the ethereal task ahead. Streetlights, one by one, begin their hesitant dance, flickering to life like newly kindled hopes as twilight deepens its indigo embrace over the sprawling metropolis. A profound sense of uncertainty descends upon you. Where does one even begin to search for the elusive soul of a city? How does one capture an essence that defies tangible form? The sheer immensity of the task feels as vast and impenetrable as the looming darkness itself. Then, the first hesitant drops of rain begin their descent, soft at first, like tentative whispers from the heavens, but their politeness is fleeting. Swiftly, they become more insistent, a steadily intensifying drumming against the pavement, a crescendo building around you. The gentle pitter-patter quickly transforms into a more resolute, almost rhythmic thrum. escalating into a downpour that strikes the ground with a drenching force. It is no longer mere precipitation, but a burgeoning symphony of water, a driving, relentless melody announcing the arrival of a night brimming with unexpected twists and formidable challenges. You instinctively tuck your precious camera bag deeper beneath the protective folds of your coat, seeking hurried refuge beneath the flimsy shelter of a nearby shop awning. The city around you, in this liquid embrace, undergoes a wondrous, almost alchemical transformation. The prosaic streets, once dull asphalt, are now lustrous, shifting mirrors, flawlessly reflecting the garish, vibrant neon signs of 1,000 storefronts, each splash of color distorted and elongated, painting the slick surfaces with ephemeral artistry. Pedestrians, once distinct individuals, become amorphous, anonymous shapes, their hurried forms blurred by the torrential sheets of water, their identities dissolved in the shimmering reflections. A quick glance at your wristwatch confirms the hour. Precisely 11:30 p.m. The night, still in its youthful vigor, stretches before you, pregnant with possibility, yet simultaneously daunting in its boundless expanse. You remain transfixed, pondering this most abstract of assignments. How, indeed, does one photograph something as inherently intangible, as deeply enigmatic as a city's very soul? Your own footsteps, now echoing distinctly on the increasingly sodden pavement, sound strangely hollow, almost lost amidst the diminishing rumble of distant traffic. It is a sound that accentuates a peculiar sensation of solitude, of being but a solitary, searching figure adrift within the colossal, indifferent expanse of this magnificent, rain-swept city. A sudden, brilliant flash of lightning, unbidden and fleeting, momentarily tears across the bruised canvas of the sky, starkly illuminating your face, revealing a visage etched with deep contemplation and an undeniable undercurrent of apprehension, lost in the labyrinthine corridors of your own thoughts. The abstract nature of your assignment weighing heavily upon your mind. You are barely cognizant of your immediate surroundings. The relentless drumming of the rain against the awning is a monotonous backdrop to your internal deliberations. Suddenly, with an abruptness that startles you, a vivid yellow taxi, a beacon of the bustling city even in its slumber, veers sharply to the curb, its headlights, stark and unyielding, cut through the rain-streaked gloom, pinning you squarely in their dazzling beam, creating a moment of unexpected, almost theatrical drama. From within the dimly lit interior, a voice, gravelly yet unexpectedly gentle, calls out, "Need some shelter from this downpour, son?" An elderly gentleman, his face etched with the wisdom of years, watches you from the driver's seat. His eyes, remarkably kind, hold an amused sparkle that seems to hint at a deeper understanding, as if he has, with uncanny prescience, discerned the very nature of your solitary quest. Indeed, his gaze pierces the surface, carrying with it a profound, seasoned depth, as though he has already gleaned precisely what it is you are seeking. You shake your head, politely declining his offer of respite. "No, thank you, sir. I'm working." "Working, eh?" The man's interest is piqued as he takes in your camera bag. "A photographer, by the looks of it. Well now, that's a rare sight at this hour." He extends a hand, calloused yet firm. "Name's Jack. Been driving a cab in this grand city for more years than I care to count. I reckon I could show you some rather special pictures if you're inclined." You grasp his hand, the contact surprisingly warm and reassuring. Henry Walsh, New York Chronicle. You respond, the words feeling a touch formal in the intimate confines of the rain-swept night. Jack's smile, a knowing, almost enigmatic curve of his lips, deepens as he withdraws his hand. It's a smile that leaves you feeling a curious blend of reassurance and a nascent sense of intrigue, a subtle undercurrent of both trust and a lingering, faint trace of suspicion regarding this unexpected Samaritan. The Chronicle, you say? Well, Henry, I know this city like the back of my hand. Every hidden alley, every quiet corner, every spot most folks never even dream of seeing. Perhaps I could lead you to where you might just find what you're looking for. A moment of hesitation hangs in the air, the rational part of your mind urging caution. Yet something in Jack's steady gaze, his unhurried demeanor, speaks volumes. There is an undeniable trustworthiness emanating from him, a quiet authority that overrides your initial reservations. Besides, the drumming rain outside is now hammering against the awning with renewed vigor, a relentless percussive reminder of your looming deadline. The urgency of your assignment gnaws at you. "Don't you worry about the meter," Jack interjects, as if sensing your internal debate. "Consider it my small contribution to the arts." With a decision made, you slide onto the worn leather seat of the taxi, the scent of old upholstery and rain-soaked wool filling the air. As the door clicks shut, sealing you both within this mobile sanctuary, Jack offers a casual observation. Funny this. First time I've had a photographer in my cab in years. Used to know a thing or two about your trade myself back in the day. You find yourself confiding in him, a confession born of a shared moment and the comforting rumble of the engine. My editor Barnes, he says my pictures, they lack soul. Jack nods slowly, a profound understanding dawning in his eyes. Ah, the soul. He's not wrong, you know. Technical skills, they'll only take you so far. That's just the bones. The real magic, the true alchemy, happens when you cease merely observing and begin to truly connect with what you're photographing. When you feel it deep in your core, his words resonate, a profound truth echoing the very dilemma that has plagued your recent work. Jack's taxi glides with an almost preternatural smoothness as he executes a deft turn onto Broadway, the broad thoroughfare that slices through the heart of Manhattan. Most folks, they reckon they know New York, he remarks, his voice a low rumble above the gentle hum of the engine. But they only see it in the harsh glare of day, when it's a beast of noise and haste. Tonight, at this hour, Times Square shows its true face. This is when it truly breathes. Indeed, Times Square at midnight is a revelation, a world utterly distinct from its daylight chaos. The throngs of humanity have thinned to a sparse scattering, and the ubiquitous neon signs, freed from the competition of sunlight, blaze with an intensified luminescence. They cast an ethereal glow upon the rain-slicked pavement, transforming the mundane asphalt into a vast, shimmering canvas of liquid light. Each vivid hue, reflected and elongated, dances in the puddles, creating dazzling, luminous streaks that give the impression of Times Square adorned in a shimmering, wet silk gown. The air itself feels charged, electric, a palpable energy emanating from the colossal billboards and the pulsing heart of the city as you step out, diligently shielding your precious camera from the persistent, gentle rain. Your ears open to a subtle symphony, the low thrum of neon transformers, a distant, melancholic wail of a lone saxophone, and the muted honks of stray taxis, all blending into a surprisingly romantic and dreamlike nocturnal atmosphere. Jack's gaze drifts, then settles. He points to a solitary figure, silhouetted against the colossal, flashing advertisements. See him? That's Otto. Been sweeping these streets for 30 years. Comes alive, when the crowds go home. You can't help but ask, how do you know that? Jack merely offers a knowing smile. Taxi drivers, Henry, they know everything worth knowing in this city. Every secret, every hidden story. You raise your Graflex, framing Otto as he diligently pushes his broom, his silhouette haloed by the grand marquee of a cinema advertising the timeless romance of Casablanca. The shot feels authentic, imbued with a quiet dignity. Good, Jack murmurs, almost to himself, a subtle nod of approval, and then, as if choreographed by an unseen hand, a young couple appears, sharing a single umbrella, their forms momentarily paused beneath the largest, most incandescent neon sign. Their faces, illuminated by its soft, otherworldly blue glow, are alight with a shared, tender intimacy. There, Henry, Jack whispers, his voice barely audible above the gentle swish of Otto's broom against the wet pavement and the soft pitter-patter of the couple's light footsteps, creating a quiet yet deeply emotional rhythm, a tranquil symphony of nocturnal life. Capture that moment. The couple, the lights, the wet pavement, creating that perfect shimmering reflection. That's the real New York. Right there. You snap the shutter, and in that fleeting instant, the composition feels unequivocally right. A sense of harmonious balance and profound truth that your work has so rarely achieved before. A surge of unexpected exhilaration courses through you, a vibrant spark of revelation. This isn't just about technical precision. It's about seeing, truly seeing, with something beyond the eye. Jack, his gaze distant, then speaks of Times Square as it once was, his voice carrying a curious, almost wistful resonance, as if recalling a personal memory. Used to be horse-drawn carriages here, long before the first electric signs started buzzing. The very first ones, they looked like fireflies compared to these giants. A faint, melancholic strains of an old-time jazz tune seemed to drift on the air, subtly woven into his words, transporting the listener back to a bygone era, deepening the mystery surrounding Jack's apparent, intimate connection to the city's past. He guides you with an intuitive understanding to various vantage points, revealing snippets of life you might otherwise have missed. A young newsboy, hunched under a lamppost, meticulously counting his meager coins. The ethereal plume of steam rising from a lone pretzel vendor's cart. Its warmth, a solitary beacon in the cool, damp night. After nearly an hour, a transformative hour, Jack turns to you. Getting anything worth printing, Henry? You nod, a wide, genuine smile spreading across your face. The excitement is palpable. It's as if I'm seeing Times Square for the very first time. Jack's knowing smile returns. That's because you're not just looking anymore, son. You're feeling it. He glances down at his pocket watch, its polished metal catching the neon glow. Right then, plenty more heartbeats to capture. Let's find another place that sings. Jack's taxi, a familiar companion now, wends its way through the quieter, less frenetic thoroughfares of Harlem. The clock on the dashboard has long since ticked past 1 in the morning, and the city's nocturnal rhythm has softened, settling into a more introspective hum. Outside, the earlier downpour has graciously receded, leaving behind a fine, gentle mist that hovers in the cool air, cloaking the brick facades in a diffused, ethereal glow. You remark, almost idly, that most establishments would be shuttered by this hour. Jack, however, merely offers a knowing smile. Ah, Henry, some places, the real music, the truly uninhibited notes, they only truly begin to flow once the paying customers have taken their leave. His words are punctuated by a distant, yet profoundly alluring wail of a saxophone, a mournful, drawn-out cry that seems to emanate from the very depths of a hidden alleyway, instantly captivating, almost hypnotic, drawing both you and the listener further into the unfolding mystery of the night. He guides the cab to a stop beside an unassuming, unmarked brick building. From a basement window, a faint, inviting golden light spills onto the damp pavement, painting a soft, beckoning streak on the moist street, a subtle invitation to explore the secrets concealed within. From within, the unmistakable, rich timbre of saxophone notes can now be distinctly heard, weaving a tapestry of sound that speaks of improvisation and heartfelt expression. Jack leads you to a nondescript, heavy wooden door where he executes a series of precise, distinctive knocks, a rhythmic, almost coded pattern that feels like a secret password, unequivocally affirming his deep familiarity with this clandestine establishment. The door opens to reveal a large, impeccably dressed man in a sharp suit, his presence both imposing and welcoming. Leon, Jack greets him, and the name is returned with an easy familiarity, the two men sharing a quiet camaraderie that speaks of long-standing friendship. Leon's gaze, however, turns to you, a flicker of polite inquiry in his eyes. A photographer, Leon, Jack explains smoothly. from the Chronicle. Capturing the very soul of this city at night, you descend a narrow, creaking staircase, the air growing warmer, thicker with the mingled scents of aged wood, stale cigarette smoke, and the intoxicating perfume of 1,000 unspoken stories. You emerge into a dimly lit basement club, where the illumination is provided solely by scattered table candles, their flickering flames casting long, dancing shadows that undulate and writhe upon the walls, like spectral figures lost in the throes of the music on a small, elevated stage. 5 musicians, absorbed in their art, play to a nearly empty room. Only a few scattered tables are occupied by what Jack softly describes as late-night dreamers, fellow connoisseurs of authentic sound. They play for themselves now, he whispers, his voice barely audible above the rising tide of notes. After hours, no expectations, no demands, just pure, unadulterated jazz. Raw and true, a slender saxophonist, his eyes closed in deep concentration, leans into a solo that seems to bend the very fabric of time, each note a revelation, a lament, a triumph. His body sways gently, in perfect sync with the unfolding melody, while the pianist, his gaze fixed on his bandmate, offers a flawless, complementary harmony. Perfect light for photography, Jack comments, pointing with an almost professional eye to the solitary overhead spotlight, which casts dramatic chiaroscuro shadows across the saxophonist's face, highlighting the contours of his passion. You begin to capture images. The saxophonist, lost in his ecstatic performance. The blurred, rapid motion of the drummer's hands. The bassist's elegant, precise fingering. Between shots, you observe Jack. He exchanges silent nods of recognition with several of the patrons, a wordless acknowledgement of shared understanding. A waitress, without a single word of instruction, brings him a glass of whiskey, calling him Mr. Jack, with an obvious warmth and deep affection that speaks volumes of his standing here. "Do you come here often?" you ask, your curiosity piqued. He takes a slow sip of his drink, his eyes distant. "In another life, perhaps," he replies, his tone veiled, leaving you to ponder the weight of his words. This brief exchange with the regulars subtly deepens the enigma of Jack's true identity, raising a silent question within you. He gestures towards the stage once more, pointing out how the soft candlelight catches the sharp, artistic edge of the piano player's profile. "That's your shot, Henry. Half in shadow, half in light, like the music itself, complex, contrasting, and utterly beautiful. You lift your camera, framing the shot, and in that click, you feel an exhilarating thrill, a sense of having captured a profound truth, a fleeting perfection that speaks to the very essence of this hidden, intimate room. You know a lot about photography, you remark, a genuine note of surprise in your voice. For a taxi driver, Jack shrugs, a modest gesture. Picked up some things over the years, I suppose. Always had an appreciation for those who can truly capture moments worth remembering. He sips his whiskey again, his gaze turning reflective. Sometimes I think photographs, they remember things better than people do. They hold on to the past, immutable. Then the music shifts. The lively, improvisational jazz gives way to something slower, more melancholic, a poignant ballad. A woman, ethereal in a midnight blue dress, steps forward to the microphone, her voice rich and resonant, like velvet draped over smoke, fills the room, soaring and dipping with a profound, almost heartbreaking pathos, a heartfelt whisper from the very soul of the city, causing every molecule in the room to seem to slow, to listen, to feel. This is the last song of the night, Jack whispers, his voice hushed, reverent. Make it count, Henry. Capture the feeling. You raise your camera one final time, the weight of it comforting in your hands. You frame a shot that encapsulates not merely what the club looks like, but what it feels like. The profound intimacy, the shared appreciation for beauty, the fleeting melancholy, and the quiet camaraderie among strangers. In that single click, you feel an unparalleled connection, not just to the music, but to the very souls of those listening, reaching a new crescendo of artistic and emotional understanding. Jack's familiar yellow taxi now glides with a quiet purpose towards the East River, the rhythmic hum of its engine, a comforting backdrop to the pre-dawn stillness. In the distance, the colossal stone towers of the Brooklyn Bridge begin to assert their monumental presence, rising from the mist like ancient sentinels guarding the passage of time itself. It is approaching 2:30 in the morning, a strange, liminal hour when the city exists in a state of suspended animation, poised between the echoes of night and the first whispers of dawn. No finer place to truly grasp the city's reflection, Henry. Jack declares, his voice a low, resonant murmur. Then from the very heart of this bridge, she's been carrying the dreams and burdens of people across these waters since she first opened her arms. You, Ever, the fact checker, can't help but interject. Opened in 1883. Sir. Jack lets out a soft, amused chuckle, a warm sound that seems to ripple through the quiet cab. A vigorous speech, kid, aren't you? Always good to know your history. He pulls to a gentle stop just at the bridge's grand entrance, suggesting you walk. As you step out, a profound shift in atmosphere envelopes you. The bridge welcomes you with an almost cathedral-like presence, its intricate Gothic arches soaring skyward, strung with countless lights that glimmer like pathways of fallen stars against the deepening pre-dawn sky. A haunting, ethereal sound now becomes distinctly audible. The wind, a restless spirit, begins to whistle and hum through the bridge's myriad of suspension cables. It is a mournful, hypnotic cry, a ghostly sigh that echoes through the ancient iron and steel, carrying with it the whispers of history, the untold stories of countless souls who have traversed this very path. Your footsteps, Henry, now echo softly on the worn wooden planks of the promenade, a singular rhythm accompanying Jack's steady pace as you follow him deeper into this architectural marvel. Jack begins to recount its storied past, his voice imbued with a curious intimacy. 27 souls gave their lives building her, including the patriarch, John Roebling, and his son, Washington, finished it, watching the work through a telescope from his sickbed, guiding every stone and cable. He reaches out, his hand gently tracing the cold iron railing, a gesture of profound connection. There's a story behind everything in this city, Henry. If you only know where to look, if you know how to listen to the echoes, you reach the first formidable tower, and the view explodes before you, breathtaking in its dramatic expanse. To the west, the glittering tapestry of Manhattan's skyline stretches endlessly, a slumbering titan. To the east, the sprawling, more understated expanse of Brooklyn. And beneath you, the East River flows with the dark, reflective sheen of liquid obsidian, its surface mirroring the twinkling lights of the bridge above, creating a dazzling, inverted constellation. Jack leads you to what he clearly considers the quintessential vantage point, midway between the two majestic towers. This, he declares, a subtle reverence in his tone. This is where you'll find what you're truly looking for. You begin your work. the rhythmic click of your graphics filling the silence. You capture the intricate, almost mathematical, geometric patterns formed by the bridge's immense network of cables, the timeless symmetry of its towering arches, and the entire magnificent scene perfectly mirrored in the tranquil, dark waters below. "Wait," Jack advises, his keen eyes scanning the river. "Wait for that tugboat to reach the center. It'll disturb the surface, create a path of broken reflections. That's your shot." His photographic acumen, you realize, is far too precise, too instinctively acute for mere casual interest. It speaks of a professional's understanding, a depth of knowledge that transcends the mere observations of a taxi driver. A question, one that has been simmering in your mind, now finds its voice. "Jack," you begin, turning to face him directly. Were you ever a photographer?" He turns from the shimmering vista of the harbor, his gaze drifting out across the dark expanse of water. A long moment of silence stretches between you, broken only by the soft, almost imperceptible lapping of the waves against the bridge's piers far below, creating an unsettling quietude, a palpable sense of anticipation as you await his answer. His eyes, deep and unfathomable, seem to hold a universe of unspoken stories. Then, a slow, knowing smile touches his lips, that same enigmatic expression that both reassured and intrigued you when you first met him. He does not answer directly. "Let's just say, Henry, I've spent a lifetime observing this city through different frames." His gaze, now meeting yours, holds a profound, almost mystical quality. Some people, they are simply meant to experience life, to live it fully. Others are destined to capture it, to freeze its fleeting moments. And a very fortunate few, Henry, get to do both. The reply, indirect as it is, only serves to deepen the profound mystery surrounding his true identity, hinting at a past far more complex and intertwined with the city's very fabric than you could possibly imagine. Through the lingering, gentle mist of the pre-dawn hours, the diner on a quiet street corner glows with an inviting luminescence, radiating warmth like a steadfast lighthouse guiding a lost ship. Its windows, delightfully steamy from the inner warmth, hint at the comforting sanctuary within. Above its entrance, a neon sign with a few charmingly flickering letters proudly proclaims its identity: Ruby's All-Night Eats. Jack, with a wink and a smile, promises a slice of the finest apple pie you've ever tasted. Paired with coffee robust enough, he assures, to perfectly develop film in a pinch. The clear, sharp clang of the bell above the door announces your arrival, cutting distinctively through the hushed stillness of the street. It draws the attention of the half-dozen nocturnal patrons already nestled within. 2 police officers on a late-night beat, a weary nurse unwinding after a long shift, and a solitary figure hunched over a newspaper. The air inside is a comforting blend of rich, dark coffee, its potent aroma stimulating the senses, and the sweet, cinnamon-infused fragrance of freshly baked apple pie. These scents mingle and swirl, wrapping around you a sensory embrace that promises solace and warmth after your long, damp night, inducing a profound sense of ease and welcome for both Henry and the listener. "Ruby, my dear," Jack calls out, his voice filled with genuine affection. From behind the counter, a robust woman with a kind, no-nonsense face looks up, her eyes crinkling in a warm smile. "Jack, you old rascal. Thought you'd forgotten about me." Their greeting is a testament to years of shared history, a comfortable familiarity that speaks volumes. Jack gestures to you. "This here's Henry, a photographer from the Chronicle. He's trying to capture the soul of this sleeping city." Ruby's gaze shifts to you, an assessing, curious glint in her eyes. "A photographer, you say? Well now," she muses, a faint smile playing on her lips. "Just like my old friend." Her voice trails off, and you catch a subtle flicker of something unreadable, perhaps a fleeting hint of wistfulness or a shared secret, as her eyes briefly, almost imperceptibly, dart towards Jack. He, ever so smoothly, completes her sentence with an effortless, almost preemptive grace. "Yes, Ruby, just like your old friend." You move through the cozy space, raising your camera to capture the unposed moments of these quiet patrons. They offer comfortable smiles or gentle nods, accustomed, it seems, to the ebb and flow of life in Ruby's. You are struck by a palpable sense of shared community, a quiet, unspoken bond amongst these disparate strangers drawn together by the common need for a late-night haven. As you savor the perfect balance of tart apple and buttery crust in your pie, your gaze drifts to a framed photograph hanging on the wall. It's an old print, perhaps from the late 1930s, depicting a younger, vibrant Ruby behind this very counter. What truly captivates you is the striking composition. Morning light streams through the diner's windows, illuminating a diverse array of faces: a construction worker, a milkman, a young couple, all caught in a moment of quiet, shared humanity. The image possesses an undeniable vibrancy, a compelling sense of life. "That's a beautiful photograph, Ruby," you comment as she refills your coffee cup, the steaming liquid a dark, aromatic comfort. Ruby nods, a fond smile gracing her lips. "One of my favorites, that one, taken by a regular years ago. He had a way of seeing things, you know. A gift for making the ordinary look special." As she speaks, a soft, almost imperceptible strains of gentle jazz music, reminiscent of the 1930s era depicted in the photograph, begin to weave themselves into the ambient sounds of the diner, subtly immersing the listener in the historical context of the image. Your attention, Henry, becomes utterly fixed on this old photograph, and Ruby's words about the anonymous photographer begin to resonate with a peculiar intensity. The phrase "had a way of seeing things," making the ordinary look special, echoes in your mind, striking an uncanny chord. Coupled with Jack's mysterious knowledge of photography, his effortless ability to guide you to moments of profound beauty, and his curious absence from your own burgeoning negatives, a new, unsettling suspicion begins to bloom within you. You begin to connect the seemingly disparate threads, forging a tentative yet increasingly strong link between the enigmatic cab driver who now sits beside you and this nameless old friend who possessed such a unique vision. The mystery surrounding Jack, already significant, deepens considerably, taking on an entirely new, almost spectral dimension. As the taxi pulls to a soft halt at the edge of Central Park, Jack turns to you with a quiet suggestion. "For this next part, Henry, let's leave the heavy camera bag here in the cab. Just bring what you need for a lighter touch." Some moments are best approached with minimal imposition. Stepping into the park at this hour is akin to entering a separate realm, a verdant wilderness nestled within the concrete heart of the city. Night has transformed it utterly, cloaking its familiar pathways and ancient trees in a breathtaking tapestry of mist that hovers low above the dewy ground, catching the diffused illumination from scattered antique lampposts. The air is cool, damp, and carries the earthy scent of wet soil and damp foliage. Your footsteps, along with Jack's, fall softly, almost imperceptibly, upon the wet grass and damp earth, creating a serene, almost ethereal atmosphere. The gentle drip, drip of collected raindrops occasionally releases from the boughs of unseen trees, adding to the tranquil, almost magical symphony of the fog-laden night. Jack's voice, hushed now, takes on a reverent tone. Most folks, they think this park is dangerous at night, a place to avoid. But in truth, Henry, it holds its own profound peace. A different kind of spirit awakens here when the city sleeps. The path, winding and indistinct in the low light, guides you towards a small, picturesque bridge arcing gracefully over a placid pond. As you draw nearer, you are captivated by a singular, breathtaking tableau, the perfect, unbroken reflection of a solitary lamppost, its golden light forming a complete, luminous circle upon the still, mirror-like surface of the water below. It is a moment of pure, geometric artistry. Then, a subtle movement, a pale, almost spectral flicker, catches your eye at the periphery of your vision, barely discernible through the swirling veil of mist. Your breath catches in your throat. From the deeper shadows beneath the ancient trees, a small group of deer emerges, their forms ghostly and translucent in the low, ambient light. They move with an almost impossible grace, their slender legs carrying them silently towards the water's edge, seemingly entirely unaware of your presence, or perhaps simply unafraid. Incredible. You whisper. The word escaping your lips is a mere exhalation. You raise your camera, your hands moving on instinct, a profound sense of awe washing over you. You are utterly unaware that such wild, pristine creatures still resided within the boundaries of this urban park. Jack, standing perfectly still beside you, his presence as quiet and unobtrusive as the mist itself, offers another of his profound observations. Most people, they never see them. They know when it's safe to appear. When the city holds its breath, you begin to capture image after image. The ethereal deer, their elegant forms reflected in the water, the swirling mist acting as a natural, softening filter. You feel as if you have stumbled upon a forgotten pocket of true wilderness. A pristine sanctuary miraculously preserved, entirely separate from the relentless rhythm of the city that pulses just beyond the park's borders. Lost in the profound beauty of the moment, you are utterly immersed in the act of creation. Every click of the shutter a testament to your newfound focus. All thoughts of time, of deadlines, of Barnes's criticisms dissipate into the mist. Only the soft click of your camera and your own barely perceptible breath remain, a testament to the surging passion within you, burning brightly. Jack's voice, a hushed murmur, then breaks the trance, resonating with a quiet profundity. Some things in New York, he says, his gaze fixed on the spot where the deer, as suddenly and silently as they appeared, now melt back into the deeper shadows of the trees, their forms dissolving into the swirling fog. Some things are eternal. They exist beyond the bricks and mortar, beyond the roaring streets, beyond what most people ever truly notice. They are the city's true, unchanging soul, connecting its past to its fleeting present and its whispered future. The subtle vanishing of the deer, coupled with Jack's philosophical reflection, imbues the scene with an almost supernatural quality, a profound connection between the timeless essence of nature and the enduring spirit of the city. The taxi, now a familiar and almost comforting presence in the pre-dawn quiet journeys purposefully towards the East River, here, amidst the industrial hum and the distant lapping of water, the skeletal framework of what will one day become the headquarters of the United Nations rises with stark, nascent grandeur. Even at this impossibly early hour, its raw, exposed girders and nascent concrete forms are discernible against the gradually lightening eastern sky, a testament to future aspirations. Not much to look at yet, is it? You remark, a hint of understatement in your voice, surveying the still unfinished edifice. Jack, however, regards the scene with a profound, almost visionary intensity. Perhaps not in its full glory, Henry, but what it represents, what it embodies, that, my friend, is worth seeing above all else. This is the very world deciding, finally, to come together, to forge unity from division. It's the heart of New York, rising phoenix-like from the ashes of war and destruction, a monument to something hopeful, something profoundly optimistic, emerging into being. As he speaks, a faint, distant ship's horn sounds, a lonely, resonant cry cutting through the cool air, blending almost seamlessly with the first hesitant chirps of waking birds. It is a subtle yet poignant fusion of industry and nature, a gentle chorus heralding the dawn. You follow him to a carefully chosen vantage point, overlooking the sprawling construction site. Here, the half-built structure is perfectly framed by the dark, flowing expanse of the East River, and beyond it, the delicate, almost imperceptible hint of nascent dawn now paints the sky with the faintest blush of violet and rose. The very first rays of morning light begin to tentatively caress the cold steel, illuminating the intricate network of the United Nations burgeoning framework. These nascent beams of light cast long, sinuous shadows that ripple and stretch across the ground, twisting and turning with an almost organic grace, like an abstract work of art unfolding before your eyes. The construction site itself, usually a cacophony of human endeavor, rests in a state of profound, almost reverent peace. It is a silent mass of dormant materials and colossal machines, each awaiting its moment of purpose, holding within itself an immense, unspoken potential. Jack, his gaze fixed on the emerging structure, offers another of his quiet, yet deeply resonant observations. The city, Henry, is an ever-evolving entity. It is always in the process of becoming something new, reaching for its next incarnation. Yet it never truly forgets what it was. It transforms, yes, with a relentless, vital energy, but always, it retains its immutable soul. He looks at the burgeoning structure with a gaze filled with a quiet hope, a faint, gentle smile gracing his lips, conveying a profound sense of optimism for the city's unfolding future. His silent hope is a powerful, unspoken current flowing from him to you, deeply inspiring both Henry and the unseen listener. You raise your camera, feeling a renewed surge of energy, a profound sense of purpose. Your finger depresses the shutter release repeatedly, capturing the intricate interplay of the emerging building against the pre-dawn sky. Each click is resolute, decisive, as if you are determined to seize every fleeting moment of the city's quiet metamorphosis, transforming the skeletal framework into powerful geometric patterns that speak not of mere construction, but of inherent strength and boundless possibility. The rhythmic click, click, click of your camera fills the quiet air, a testament to your intense focus, a desire to capture every nuanced detail of the city's profound transition. Jack, seemingly content with your renewed passion, checks his pocket watch, its soft click barely audible above the rising symphony of the awakening city. Almost 6, Henry, he murmurs, his voice a gentle prod. You should have just enough time to get those photographs developed before your editor, Barnes, begins his day. As Jack's taxi navigates the now familiar streets, heading purposefully back towards the New York Chronicle building, the city around you begins its slow, deliberate awakening. The quiet symphony of the night gradually gives way to the burgeoning chorus of morning, the distant, muted hum of car horn, and the nascent murmur of human voices steadily crescendo, becoming more distinct, more immediate. This subtle shift in auditory landscape serves as a potent reminder of New York's relentless vitality, a stark contrast to the profound stillness that had embraced its nocturnal hours. Early commuters, their faces still etched with the residue of sleep, congregate at bus stops, their silhouettes growing clearer against the lightening sky. Shopkeepers, with a rhythmic clang, begin to raise their heavy metal gates, revealing the promise of a new day's commerce. Delivery trucks, their engines rumbling with a determined purpose, lumber down streets, still glistening and wet from the night's gentle rain, leaving behind transient tire trails. You turn to Jack, a profound sense of gratitude welling within you. Jack, you begin, your voice imbued with a sincerity that surprises even yourself. I've lived here my entire life, seen every corner, walked every street, but tonight felt like seeing New York for the very first time. Jack offers a quiet smile, the nascent light of dawn catching the intricate lines etched around his eyes, lines that speak of countless stories and untold wisdom. Sometimes, Henry, he replies, his voice a soft, knowing murmur. Sometimes we are too close to truly see. Sometimes we simply need to look at familiar things through fresh eyes. Eyes that seek not just sight, but revelation, with a movement that is both economical and deeply significant. He reaches into his pocket. He withdraws a small, somewhat worn business card, its edges softened by time. Upon its simple surface, there is nothing but a single, unadorned phone number. Should you ever require another tour, Henry, he offers, his gaze holding a promise of endless hidden wonders. Do give this a ring. The night, you see, is a boundless tome, revealing a myriad of different secrets with each new passing hour. The unassuming card, now resting in your palm, feels less like a mere piece of paper and more like the tangible beginning of a new enigma, a subtle invitation into a deeper unfolding mystery. The Chronicle building, when you finally step through its grand doors, retains a hushed quietude, a peaceful calm before the storm of the waking news cycle. You make your way purposefully to the familiar sanctuary of the dark room in the basement. As you cross the threshold, the heavy door swings shut behind you, with a decisive thud, instantly severing all external sounds, creating a private, enclosed space dedicated solely to the alchemy of image creation. The air is immediately redolent with the familiar, comforting aroma of photographic chemicals, the distinct scent of developer, fixer, and hypo, each a promise of transformation. With a practiced hand, you flick on the ruby red safe light, bathing the small room in a warm, ethereal glow, and begin the meticulous ritual of preparing the development trays. There is, you find, something inherently meditative, almost sacred, about the entire darkroom process. It is a slow, deliberate rhythm of careful, precise steps. The measuring of liquids, the gentle agitation of the trays, the mindful anticipation. Each action is a silent benediction, a deliberate unwinding that gently calms your mind after the night's extraordinary adventures. The soft, rhythmic sound of water flowing into the wash baths, the subtle swish of paper being lifted and turned, the quiet click of the red light switch, all contribute to a steady, unhurried tempo, a soothing ritual that purifies not just the negatives, but the very spirit. As the first sheet of photographic paper, submerged within the viscous, transforming liquid of the developer bath, begins its slow, miraculous revelation, a profound sense of anticipation tightens your chest. Small, delicate bubbles rise to the surface of the chemical solution, catching the soft, omnipresent glow of the ruby red safe light. This ethereal luminescence bathes the entire darkroom in a mystical, almost alchemical ambience, creating the distinct impression that you are not merely developing film, but rather unlocking a profound secret, peering into a hidden dimension of reality. A soft, almost imperceptible pop, a minor sonic explosion, marks the precise moment when the first image, that of the Times Square street cleaner, manifests with crystalline clarity, its silhouette perfectly balanced against the spectral neon glow of the background. It is a striking success. One by one, the night's extraordinary journey materializes from the depths of the chemical bath. The young couple, sharing their umbrella beneath the colossal, dazzling lights of Times Square, emerges next. Their shared moment of quiet wonder and tender intimacy capturing something profoundly, undeniably human. The jazz musicians, lost in the ecstatic throes of their after-hours performance, appear, their passion palpable, even in stillness. The monumental Brooklyn Bridge, spanning not merely water but the very river of time itself, asserts its majestic presence. The peaceful, almost sacred communion of light workers gathered in Ruby's warm, inviting diner materializes with a comforting glow. And finally, the ethereal, ghostly deer, suspended forever in the Central Park mist, reveal themselves, captured in a fragile pocket of primeval wilderness. These photographs, you realize with a breathless awe, are unlike anything you have ever captured before. They possess a vibrancy, a soul that your previous technical perfection had always lacked. But then, an unsettling anomaly begins to assert itself. It is not what is present in the photographs that first seizes your attention, but rather what is conspicuously absent. You hold the print from Ruby's diner, your gaze drawn to the background. The familiar booth where Jack had sat, where you had shared pie and coffee, should be visible, its worn leather a comforting presence. Yet, it appears utterly, inexplicably empty. A chill begins to creep up your spine. You move to the Brooklyn Bridge series. You distinctly recall Jack standing beside you, his arm extended, his finger pointing to the distant tugboat on the Obsidian River, his quiet instruction, a guiding whisper. You scrutinize the images, searching every shadow, every reflection, but there is no sign of him. None, as you meticulously examine each frame from the entire night's odyssey. The chilling truth becomes undeniable. Your guide, the enigmatic Jack, is conspicuously, utterly absent from every single image. It is as if he possessed an uncanny, almost supernatural awareness of exactly where to position himself, precisely when to move, to remain perpetually outside the photographic frame, a phantom mentor in the tangible world. As this profound, unnerving realization dawns upon you, the subtle, ambient background music that had accompanied your thoughts abruptly ceases. A profound, haunting silence descends upon the darkroom, amplifying your mounting surprise and the nascent tendrils of suspicion that now coil in your mind. You frantically, almost desperately, begin to re-examine the photographs, flipping through them one by one, your fingers trembling slightly. You search for any flicker, any faint trace, any elusive shadow of Jack, but the frames remain stubbornly, bafflingly empty where he should have been. This profound void, this glaring absence, only serves to amplify the deepening enigma surrounding him. Your heart begins to pound a frantic, heavy rhythm within your chest, each beat echoing in the sudden, overwhelming quiet of the dark room. Your breath comes in shallow, ragged gasps, a physical manifestation of the profound bewilderment and dizzying disorientation that now consumes you in the face of Jack's inexplicable disappearance. You carefully hang the newly developed photographs to dry, stepping back, your mind reeling, to study them with a growing sense of wonder that now mingles with an undeniable disquiet. They are undeniably, technically excellent, precisely exposed, perfectly composed. But they are also something far, far more profound. They hum with an emotional resonance, a palpable life force. They contain the very essence, the visceral feeling of each location, the raw, unfiltered truth of New York revealing its deepest self in those quiet, liminal moments of the night. Barnes had asked for the soul of the city after dark, and somehow, inexplicably, with Jack's ethereal guidance, you have captured it precisely and perfectly. A sharp, authoritative command cuts through the quiet hum of the newsroom, jerking you violently awake from where you had ungracefully dozed off, sprawled across the break room couch. Walsh, get in here. Barnes's voice, unmistakable in its gruff urgency, rings out like a sudden, jarring bell. The mid-morning sun, now high above the city, streams in through the large windows, bathing the newsroom in a warm, almost golden light. You quickly straighten your rumpled clothes, smoothing the creases from your jacket, and make your way with a newfound purpose towards the editor's office. There, you find Barnes standing, not behind his formidable desk as usual, but before it, his gaze fixed intently upon the array of photographs you had left there earlier. His eyes, typically narrowed in perpetual irritation, are now widened, crinkling at the corners with an unmistakable blend of surprise and profound admiration. It is as if he is beholding something truly miraculous, a revelation in emulsion. He struggles for a moment, searching for adequate words, his usual brusque manner softened by a genuine, almost tender awe. These are, Henry, these are truly extraordinary, utterly remarkable. How the hell did you manage to channel Jack Finley in these shots? The name Jack Finley hits you with the force of a physical blow. It echoes in your mind, a haunting familiarity you cannot immediately place. Barnes glances at you, a strange, perplexed look on his face. Don't tell me you don't know Finley's work, Walsh. He was the greatest photographer this paper ever had. A legend. He gestures with a sweeping motion to the wall directly behind his desk. It is then, and only then, that you notice, with a jolt of disbelief, a framed photograph hanging there, a print you had somehow inexplicably overlooked during all your previous countless visits to his office. The image depicts Times Square in the rain, a scene strikingly familiar, yet subtly different, taken perhaps 20 years prior. In the foreground, the very same street cleaner you photographed last night stands, looking considerably younger, his figure already etched with the quiet dignity of his labor. The composition, the interplay of light and shadow, the palpable feeling emanating from the image, all are eerily, chillingly similar to your own work from just hours before. Your gaze drops to the elegant script of the byline beneath the print: Jack Finley, Chief Photographer, 1920, 1 to 1938. At the moment, Henry recognizes the man in the old photograph as Jack. A sudden, powerful surge of orchestral music erupts, a tumultuous crescendo that builds with overwhelming force, filling the air with a dizzying, almost disorienting sound. It is a profound, almost cathartic release of emotion, coupled with a staggering sense of incredulity and disbelief that threatens to overwhelm him. Barnes continues, oblivious to the profound shock now coursing through your veins. Finley, he possessed this unparalleled gift. He could capture a place like no one else before or since. He didn't just show you what a place looked like. He revealed what it felt like, the very soul of it. Nobody's been able to match his work since he passed away. Your voice, when it emerges, sounds distant, alien even to your own ears, a mere whisper caught in the sudden whirlwind of revelation. Passed away? Barnes nods, settling into his chair, a familiar weariness etched on his face. Heart attack, 1938. 10 years ago now. A damned shame. He knew this city, Henry, like nobody else ever could. Used to say he knew every corner, every hidden story behind every building, every quiet beat of its heart. He taps your photographs, a gesture of profound approval. Whatever you did last night, Henry, keep doing it. These possess that same Finley magic. You cannot tear your gaze from the framed photograph on the wall. The face of the man proudly posing beside his editor from a bygone era is undeniably, breathtakingly familiar. The same kind eyes that had watched you with such knowing amusement from the taxi driver's seat last night. The same gentle, enigmatic smile that had guided you through the slumbering labyrinth of the city, as your fingers instinctively reach out to touch the cool, unyielding surface of the glass frame. A strange, profound warmth spreads through your very being, a bizarre yet comforting connection to the past. and to an invisible, spectral mentor. Barnes, still lost in his reverie of Finley, continues. Finley used to mentor young photographers, you know, especially the ones like you, Henry. All the technical skill in the world, but perhaps a bit lacking in a heart. He'd drive them around in his own car, just like that, showing them the real New York, the parts the tourists never saw. Outside the office window, as if on cue, a flash of vibrant yellow passes, a taxi, its windshield momentarily catching the brilliant morning sun, a familiar gleam that now holds a wholly new, profound significance. It is a fleeting sight, a familiar sound that now resonates like a whispered farewell, a silent promise from Jack. You think of Jack's parting words, his voice echoing in your mind. Sometimes we need to see familiar things through fresh eyes. Your hand instinctively tightens around the small, worn business card still in your pocket. That solitary phone number that, deep down, you know will never answer a call, yet remains eternally available. A silent beacon for those who truly need it. A smile, profound and knowing, spreads across your face, reflecting a new understanding, a new-found wisdom. You look at Barnes, your eyes alight with the dawn of a transformed perception. I had a good guide, sir, you say, your voice steady and clear. Someone who really knows this city better than anyone. As you finally step out of Barnes's office, the weight of the revelation settling heavily, yet strangely liberating upon your shoulders, you pause by the expansive window overlooking the city. Your gaze, once purely observant, now carries a profound, almost mystical depth. The earlier tension that had etched lines upon your brow has given way to a quiet, deep contemplation, as if you have indeed finally glimpsed the very soul of New York. The same streets and towering buildings that just hours ago had whispered secrets in the pre-dawn mist now thrum with the vibrant, undeniable energy of a new day. A tapestry of life unfolds beneath you. The relentless flow of traffic, the determined stride of pedestrians, the clamor of commerce, the city, vibrant and purposeful, is fully awake, utterly oblivious to the silent, ephemeral magic that had danced within its forgotten corners just hours before. Somewhere in this vast, sprawling metropolis, a beacon of yellow cuts through the endless stream of vehicles. Perhaps somewhere out there, that very same taxi, carrying the same enigmatic driver, is picking up another passenger, someone else who, like you, needs to see New York not through the jaded lens of familiarity, but through eyes freshly opened to its hidden wonders. A new soul ready to be initiated into the city's deeper mysteries. The image of the yellow taxi, momentarily catching the sun's gleam before it vanishes into the ceaseless current of traffic, leaves a peculiar void in your heart, a pang of longing for the unknown. Yet, paradoxically, it also ushers in the commencement of an entirely new chapter in your life. And in the hushed, red-lit sanctuary of the dark room, your photographs await. They are not merely prints on paper, they are tangible echoes, preserving those extraordinary moments from a journey that spanned not just a city, but time itself. Like the light on wet pavement sometimes reflects an unexpected, profound beauty, so too do these images capture an essence, a feeling, a soul that words alone can never fully articulate. The city, with its myriad secrets, continues its relentless, vibrant existence around you. A symphony of life perpetually unfolding. And as the sounds of its waking day begin to gently recede, replaced by a soft, rhythmic pattern, almost like a final, soothing lullaby, the profound resonance of your extraordinary adventure lingers, a quiet, haunting presence in the mind, beckoning one to forever ponder the hidden wonders that lie just beneath the surface of the world, waiting to be revealed.